Hello Mouses! Today the Wheel of Thursday has spun round and come up with follow-up on a previous video. So we're going to look mainly today at these proposals that the government has for snooping on us on the internet use. First, we do have a couple of corrections. Scott Video 100 has told us that it's not just David Cameron that was telling people to fill up on petrol and fill jerry cans and things like that. It's also Cabinet Office Minister Francis Maude. This, in my opinion, does not make it better, it makes it worse, because it means that there's more than one idiot who says before thinking. And that's no good. If you're going to be in government, you've got to either know everything already so that you can just say things and be right, or think before you speak. If more MPs actually followed that bit of ruling, then we'd be a lot better off. And the other piece of information is, I mentioned yesterday that the car that my partner and I drive is about 11 years old. It's actually 16 years old, which kind of makes it a bit more economical, because we've been using it for longer, but it still doesn't get anywhere near that 48 years that Rachel Veitch had on that article yesterday, so, oh well. But anyway, we're going to get to the main story in a moment. I just wanted to say that my new book is out, and I'm really happy that I've got a copy here. It's not very thick, it's a novella rather than a novel. The next one is actually a novel, but I wanted to just not pad the story out, so it's a novella, and I'm really pleased with it. The print quality is amazing. So, excellent. If you want a copy, I'm not saying you have to, but if you do want a copy, there's a link in the information bar below. So let's get on with the show. Okay, the main information I want to talk to you about today comes from Zoe O'Connell at complicity.co.uk. She spoke with some of the policy people from the civil service and some of the Liberal Democrat MPs from the coalition government on the new proposals that the government has for extending its remit of what information it can access and what information the ISPs have to hold on our data use on the internet. And what's actually happened is, it turns out that the government isn't really wanting to expand all of its remit. It's just that the people putting forward these policies don't understand what the internet is. I was actually shocked at how much they didn't understand what the internet actually is. What exactly is the issue here? Well, I'm going to quote from her blog to show you just exactly what the problem is. The current situation is that security services and police can request information from service providers that they already hold. They can get some idea about the phone calls and emails that we've been sending from the last few days. They can't do this in all cases, for example with Skype and World of Warcraft chat, so they want to normalise the situation and catch up with technology with the new program, so they return the ability that they already have. Now that seems fair enough. On that basis, I would accept, yes, you need to be able to see X, Y and Z, so that they can find terrorist plots and paedophile rings and all that. They do actually mention paedophiles, and it annoys me so much when they do that. It's like, but paedophiles could do this. Yes, but you don't know that they actually are. So don't try and bring up strawman arguments, because that just makes me want to punch you. But anyway, so yeah, on that basis, I can see why they would want to do this. But the problem is, that means a radical change in how we deal with the internet, as Zoe explains. The policy folks did not understand that they were shifting the balance between retaining information and obtaining information. The new proposals oblige service providers to obtain information that they currently don't have. We are essentially being asked to open all the mail that's sent and check to see if the envelopes actually contain other letters inside that would be forwarded on to someone else. Or not just record that you rang a voicemail service, but listen in on the call to see who left you messages. For example, using World of Warcraft chat, instead of using it for discussing raids or trying to sell your loots that you've picked up from monsters, but instead trying to organise meetings for drug deals and things like that, or plotting terrorist atrocities, using World of Warcraft chat, because that can't be seen by the normal internet providers. It goes through to Warcraft, transfers, and then comes back down, but it's hidden inside Warcraft information. So it's essentially hidden from the normal passage of information that ISPs would be able to sift. Now, once you've heard it put it this way, this is incredibly scary. This is basically the civil service, through misunderstanding how everything works, suggesting that we create the same kind of filter system that is used in Iran and China. Basically, what the civil service wants us to do is blindly walk into being a police state with snooping on everything we do. Basically, the civil service wants to create Big Brother, despite the fact that it doesn't want to create Big Brother. It's going to do it accidentally. Isn't this exactly what happened in Terminator 3 when they accidentally created Skynet? That's the kind of level we're at here. It's people who don't know what they're doing, destroying what we have through total ignorance. And I, for one, am not happy about it. So what I would like you to all do is write to your MP and say, don't let these proposals get through. Explain to them what the civil service thinks it's doing and then what it's actually doing. And say, the problem is, we understand the need to keep vigilant for terrorism, but this is not the way to do it. Get the civil service to get in experts who know what they're doing to create the policy, or at least to inform them so that they can create the policy themselves. Whichever they prefer. I'm happy either way, as long as this doesn't happen the way they're actually asking it to happen now. So I'm going to write a letter to my MP. I'd like you to too. And I'll put a link in the information bar below on where to find your MP and how to contact them. Until tomorrow, I've been Zoe Kirk-Robinson. You've been watching the video, and I'd like to hope that we don't lose our freedom on the internet just yet.